a much beefier rail cross section.
Yeah.
Somewhere on here, you may even be able to see a thing that says what rating it is. And usually it's the pounds per foot, which I think might be that 115.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, it's a heavier rail.
Yeah.
And it's on, obviously the other thing, it's on concrete sleepers, sorry, ties.
Mm-hmm.
Speak American, Stephen, don't you? And previously they were using wooden ties, and these rail clips are state of the art. Most North American freight track uses a spike.
Right.
This is much higher quality track fitting.
So in terms of the car, we got leather seats. We've got what looks to be a little bit less than a meter. It's probably about 30 inches, maybe 35 inches. I don't know. Across there, you've seen a lot of different systems like this. How does it measure up compared to other streetcars you're seeing in use around the world?
I think this is possibly slightly narrower than you'd see in a typical North American system, but that's because we're in the front unit. If you turn around and take a look at the centre section, where you haven't got the trucks intruding into the bodywork, you get a much wider space.
Yeah.
So you get a much more generous allocate. You can actually get 2 in 1 and a wheelchair.
Yeah.
There's no doubt that this is state of the art. And in Brussels they're operated on the street, not on segregated right-of-way as they are here. So they have to compete with traffic. So when you see cars like this squirreling their way through tight city streets in older cities, which were never designed for cars in the first place, it's really quite impressive. I particularly like the leather seats. I think it's one of the things that we tend to design transit as though it was a portable public toilet. You know, it's the design for being swept out at the end of the day with a fire hose or something. If you start designing transit for everybody, you have to make it look like they're welcome on board and make it a pleasant experience for them. And actually, things like leather seats will probably be more robust and will probably stand up to wear and tear better than some of the cheaper plastic alternatives. Because we're not riding in it, and because they're not running up and down the track, what the experience you need is how smooth the ride is going to be. Mm-hmm. Because they've made huge progress in suspensions, and I suspect that one of the things that they've done with this track, it used to be designed for freight trains.
Yeah.
Now you don't get a nice smooth ride in a freight train, but I suspect that one of the things the city's done, and you'd have to talk to them about it, is they've probably improved the standards of the track to give a much better ride. It's a very comfortable seat. I hope they got it turned off. That would be awful. You know, he was talking about the steering wheel. Don't laugh. That's a steering wheel.
Yeah, it looks like an old video game joystick, and that's not much of anything.
No, what it does,
it's the size of my finger.
Yeah, what it does is it sets the switches that you're coming up to.
Okay.
So that actually gives you a direction, and there's a directional indicator as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, it does go around corners, but you don't need to steer it.
Much to it. And a microphone. There's announcements. And what are any foot pedals? Oh, a great big foot pedal.
Well, that's just for your the comfort of your feet, right? It goes up and down, so that you've got a nice comfort.
Tall or
a
little shorter.
Toronto streetcars have pedal operation.
Yeah.
That's because the driver has to interact, or the operator has to interact with passengers. So they don't have all these bells and whistles up here. It's all on the feet. Whereas this is just a single joystick control.